So I want you to picture this. You're standing at the edge of a swimming pool, right? And you decided that you're going to jump, and you even tell yourself three, two, one. But instead, you don't move and you count again. Three, two, one. Still nothing. You're afraid of the water. You're trapped inside of your own thoughts. And now imagine a trader. The setup appears, the checklist is complete, and liquidity is where it should be, right? And the risk is acceptable. Everything matches according to a trading plan, but the mouse never clicks. The market moves exactly as expected without them. And afterwards, they sit there thinking, wondering, how come I didn't take that trade? You see, many traders don't lose money because they act too quickly. They lose opportunities because they never act at all. And psychologists call this analysis paralysis. And analysis paralysis might be one of the quietest forms of self sabotage in trading. Look, most people believe that better decisions come from having more information. I mean, it sounds logical. Like if you have one chart and it's helping you, five charts must be better, right? And if one indicator works, then adding 10 more indicators should work even more. And if one opinion is useful, then watching 20 YouTube videos must improve your analysis. It makes sense, right? Doesn't it logically make sense? But psychology tells a different story. I mean, at a certain point, more information stops creating clarity. Instead, it creates confusion. The brain becomes more overwhelmed, not because it lacks answers, but because it has way too many. Listen, people often describe themselves as overthinkers, but like, what are they actually doing? Like, go ask that. Are they trying to eliminate uncertainty? And you know what? Like, imagine you're trying to cross a busy street, right? Of course, you naturally look left and then right and then left again. And that's completely healthy. Like, you're not trying to get run over here. Now, imagine continuing to look with 20 minutes straight. Eventually, crossing becomes impossible. And trading often looks exactly like this. You can check the 5 minute chart, then the 15 minute, and then the hourly, the 4 hour, then the economic news, and even social media, and then another trader's opinion. Eventually, the opportunity disappears, not because the setup failed, but because certainty never arrived. I mean, here's something fascinating about the human brain, right? It loves certainty. It continually asks, what if I'm wrong? What if the market reverses on me? And what if I lose? And you know what? To reduce anxiety, the brain keeps searching for more evidence. For what? Like for more confirmation, more reassurance. And you know what the problem with that? The problem is the markets never offer guarantees, and you know that. And if you wait until you're 100% certain, I promise you that you spend 100% of your trading career watching opportunities pass by. I mean, listen, like one of the biggest myths in trading is the idea of the perfect setup, right? Like, of course, you want to be like everything perfect lining up. And every trader has imagined it. The flawless entry, the perfect timing, and the trade that moves immediately in your favor. But honestly, like reality just looked different. And every setup contains uncertainty, and every trade carries risk. And professional traders, they understand this. Like they're not waiting for perfection, they're waiting for probability. And that's a completely different mindset. Listen to this. And you know what? This may sound completely surprising to you, but sometimes analysis, what you called analysis, is not really analysis. It's avoidance. Look, imagine somebody spending 6 months researching cameras, right? But guess what? They never starts filming. Or somebody who reads 20 books about fitness and yet they never go to the gym. Like research feels productive, planning feels productive, and learning feels productive. But none of those things replace action. And guess what? Trading is no different. Like studying charts for hours and hours does not make you a better trader. Taking well managed trade does. Like I'm telling you, just go out there and trade. I'm not telling you to trade. I'm not telling you to trade real money and just gamble away your money. I'm actually telling you to go demonstrate, follow a process, make some mistakes, and learn from those mistakes. But studying it without taking action will not help you a better trader because you're not gonna make mistakes to know what you did wrong and what you did right. And this is the problem, right? Like analysis paralysis often becomes stronger after a painful loss. And the brain remembers emotional pain. It says, let's make absolutely sure that this never happens again. So next time, it demands more confirmation, more certainty, more evidence, and ironically, the attempt to avoid one loss creates another problem. What is it? Missed opportunities, and eventually, traders begin regretting the trades that they didn't take more than the trades that they lost. So many beginner traders believe that professional traders do not feel hesitations. And guess what? They actually do. They're actually human people too, and they have emotions. The difference is that they don't wait for fear to disappear. What they've learned to do is that they learn something important. That confidence is not the absence of uncertainty. Confidence is to them is trusting themselves. It's trusting yourself. Is trusting yourself to follow your process despite uncertainty. And that's a subtle distinction here because it changes everything. I mean, like every decision uses mental energy, right? Like, you ask yourself, should I enter? Should I wait? Should I move my stop? Like, should I scale out? And by the time traders reach an actual setup, like their minds are just so mentally exhausted. And the more unnecessary decisions that you make, the harder it is for you to make an important decision. So that's why so many professional traders they try to simplify everything. One strategy, one session, one checklist, and less thinking and better execution. Listen, I mean, imagine a pilot preparing for takeoff, right? Of course, they gotta have thousands of hours of experience, and they still use a checklist, not because they're not intelligent, but because, like us people, human beings, we all forget. Human beings become emotional and human beings become distracted, and that's why a trading checklist serves the same purpose. And when your rules are already written, like you don't need to negotiate with yourself, and like you simply ask, does this setup meet my criteria? Does the price action look like my trading plan? If yes, you take the trade. If no, you don't. You leave it alone. Because the fewer emotional debates that you have when you're in front of the charts, the more consistent you will become. Listen, everybody talks about losing money, but very few people talk about losing opportunity. Imagine missing one excellent trading every single day, right? 5 days per week, 20 each month, and that's hundreds every year. And those invisible losses, they rarely appear in your account history, but they quietly shape your results. And sometimes the biggest cost is not taking a bad trade, it's failing to take a good one. So listen, the next time you hesitate, take a pause. Ask yourself, am I protecting my capital or am I protecting my comfort? And those two are not the same thing. Like risk management protects capital, and overthinking often protects your ego, your emotion. You gotta know the difference between the two because knowing the difference can completely change your trading career. Look, the goal in trading was never about certainty. And you know what? This may be the biggest lesson you could ever learn about trading psychology. Trading is not a job that rewards certainty, it's a profession that rewards good decision making under uncertainty. So you still got to learn how to make good making decisions under uncertainty, even if you're not sure what's going to happen next. But as long as you follow your trading plan, and make that decision in the long run, you'll be good. Like honestly, like you never have all the information, right? Like you never eliminate risk, and you never know exactly what's going to happen. And you know what? That's completely okay. That's completely okay because profitable traders, like they don't wait until uncertainty disappears. You know what they do? They learn. They move forward despite uncertainty. I promise you, uncertainty in trading will never disappear. So, so what's the conclusion here, right? Analysis paralysis does not happen because traders are lazy. No, they happen because they care. They care about, of course, they want to make the right decisions. Of course, they want to avoid unnecessary losses. They want to protect their hard earned capital. And you know what? Those are very good intentions. But when the pursuit of certainty becomes way stronger than the willingness to act, progress just stops. And the market is not going to wait for you. The market is not going to wait for you until you're ready. It's not going to wait for your confidence to reach 100,001%. Like the market just keeps doing its own thing. The market just simply keeps on moving every single day. And you know what? The next trading day, new opportunity will appear. And every day, guess what? They also disappear. And the trader who improve, they're not the ones who know the most. They're the ones who trust their preparation enough. Guess what? They trust their preparations enough to act, not recklessly and not emotionally, but decisively. Because remember, the goal was never to eliminate uncertainty. The goal was to become someone who can make good decisions even when uncertainty remains. So the next time you find yourself staring at the chart, like you wait, like you wanting to wait for one more confirmation, remember this. You do not need the perfect certainty. You only need enough evidence to follow your plan. Because the market rewards execution, but not endless deliberation. Look, master your process. Like that's what you gotta do. You just gotta trust your preparation and understand that sometimes the biggest risk is never taking the trade at all. So master your mind, master the market. This is NQ State of Mind. If you like this video in any way, shape, or form, please like, comment, and subscribe. I promise you I will respond to you. All right, you guys have a good trading day today. See ya.